From the mists of ancient myth emerges a figure whose name still echoes with the thunder of battle. Achilles, the peerless warrior, stands as a titan among heroes. His story is not merely one of bloodshed and conquest. It is a profound saga of destiny, of consuming rage, and of the agonizing cost of true greatness. He was a demigod, a force of nature, yet profoundly human in his flaws and passions. His legend transcends time, a testament to the eternal struggle between fate and free will. Achilles was born of an extraordinary union. His mother was Thetis, a shimmering sea goddess, and his father, Peleus, a mortal king. From his very first breath, he was marked for an unparalleled destiny. Thetis, consumed by a mother's fear for her mortal son, sought to defy fate. She plunged the infant Achilles into the sacred waters of the River Styx. This mystical river, the boundary to the underworld, granted near invincibility to all it touched. But in her desperate act, Thetis held him by one heel. This single small point remained untouched by the Styx's power. It became his solitary vulnerability, a hidden flaw in an otherwise perfect shield. From that moment, Achilles was more than just a child. He was a living weapon, forged by divine intervention and mortal love. His path was set, his purpose clear, to become the greatest warrior the world had ever known. His education was as unique as his birth. The wise centaur Chiron, a master of both combat and philosophy, became his mentor. Under Chiron's tutelage, Achilles learned the art of war, mastering every weapon and strategy. Yet Chiron also instilled in him principles of ethics and leadership. Achilles absorbed these lessons, growing in both strength and wisdom. He was a prodigy, destined for unparalleled renown. But even in his youth, a chilling prophecy loomed over him. Oracles foretold two paths for the young hero. He could choose a long, quiet life, fading into obscurity with age. Or he could embrace a short, glorious existence, dying young but achieving eternal fame. This stark choice between peace and immortality hung heavy over his every step. When the drums of war began to beat, summoning heroes to the shores of Troy, the prophecy became a stark reality. The choice was no longer theoretical. It demanded an answer. The Trojan War erupted, a conflict sparked by the abduction of Helen. The call to arms echoed across Greece, summoning its greatest champions. Achilles, despite his mother's desperate pleas and warnings, could not resist. Thetis knew the prophecy's grim implications. She tried to hide him, even disguising him as a girl. But the lure of glory, the pull of his destiny, was too strong to deny. He sailed with the Greek fleet, a storm of fury unleashed upon the ancient world. For nearly a decade, he fought with unmatched ferocity on the plains of Troy. He was the Greeks' most formidable weapon, their deadliest force. His spear was unstoppable, his presence on the battlefield a terror to his enemies. He carved a path of destruction, earning a reputation that spread far beyond the besieged city walls. Yet even the greatest heroes are susceptible to human failings. Achilles' immense pride, his unyielding sense of honor, became his undoing. It collided violently with the authority of Agamemnon, the Greek commander. When Agamemnon, in a fit of arrogance, seized Briseis, Achilles' war prize, the warrior's fury erupted. This insult, a public humiliation, was intolerable to his proud spirit. In a fit of righteous indignation, Achilles withdrew from battle. He retreated to his tent, vowing to fight no more until his honor was restored. His absence left a gaping wound in the Greek lines. Without Achilles, the tide of war turned dramatically against the Achaeans. Their greatest champion was gone, and their morale plummeted. The Trojans, emboldened, pushed them back to their ships. The Greeks suffered terrible losses, teetering on the brink of defeat. It was then that Patroclus, Achilles' dearest companion and possibly his lover, made a desperate plea. He begged Achilles to return to the fight. When Achilles refused, Patroclus donned his friend's distinctive armor. He hoped to inspire the Greek troops and strike fear into the Trojans, making them believe Achilles had returned. Patroclus fought bravely, pushing back the Trojan advance. but his courage was not enough to defy fate. In a tragic turn, he was slain by Hector, the mightiest Trojan prince. The news of Patroclus' death shattered Achilles. Grief, raw and consuming, tore through him. It was a pain far deeper than any physical wound, transforming his pride into an inferno of vengeance. The rage that had kept Achilles from battle now became his fuel. He roared his defiance, a sound that struck terror into the hearts of his enemies. He demanded new armor, forged by the god Hephaestus himself. Clad in divine bronze, Achilles returned to the battlefield, a whirlwind of destruction. His fury was absolute, his sole purpose to avenge Patroclus. He cut down every Trojan in his path. His confrontation with Hector was inevitable, a clash of titans. Achilles pursued Hector relentlessly around the walls of Troy. He finally cornered him and in a brutal, merciless duel, slew the Trojan hero. Achilles' vengeance was not sated by Hector's death alone. In a shocking display of disrespect, he dragged Hector's body behind his chariot, desecrating it before the horrified eyes of Troy. Even the gods were appalled by his savage fury. But the prophecy, ever patient, still awaited its final act. Achilles had achieved his vengeance. His glory was undeniable, yet his destiny remained unfulfilled. His end was foretold, and it would come swiftly. Paris, the Trojan prince who had sparked the war, aimed a fateful arrow. Guided by the god Apollo, who sought to avenge Hector, the arrow flew true. It struck Achilles in his one vulnerable spot. The arrow pierced his heel, the single point untouched by the River Styx. The wound, though small, was mortal. The invincible warrior, the greatest hero of his age, fell. In that moment, Achilles died, but his legend, forged in blood and glory, truly began. His life was short, as prophesied, but his name would echo through eternity. Achilles became the ultimate symbol of the heroic ideal. He was the man who consciously chose immortality in memory over a long, quiet life. His story, immortalized in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad, resonates across millennia. It reminds us of the thin, perilous line between glory and doom. It speaks to the profound cost of greatness, the sacrifices demanded by an unyielding pursuit of fame. Even the mightiest heroes touched by divinity are ultimately bound by fate and human frailty. Achilles' tale is a timeless testament to the power of choice, the agony of loss, and the enduring legacy of a warrior who dared to defy death itself.